and I am going to make, well, actually, I guess I don't have to make you I'm gonna work on the thing. So I got to share my screen. And so tonight, Betty is going to present for us, and we have a training to help you get started on your new month. So does everybody see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
All right, Betty, you go.
All right, we're ready. Basic training number 5. See it, draw it, live it. Okay, our plan for the month is going to be to write down the dollar amount of PPV, PGPV, and OV you will sell for October. Write down how many new customers you'll sign up, and write down how many new consultants you will sign up. Write down the rank you will achieve by the last day of the month at midnight PDT.
And that is Pacific time. Just in case you all don't know, you've got till 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time for those of us that live this way to get that done, because it ain't midnight till it's midnight in California.
Okay, so where to put our focus? We want to grow our business, focus on our PPV month 1. Want to grow your team and rank, focus on your PGPV month 2. Want to grow your organization, focus on OV month 3. Okay, so where do we start? Making money. Retail sales. Ask your new consultant how much they want to make. Have them choose a product they want to focus on. Water is the easiest. It really is. Show them how many PyMag water filters they need to sell to earn that money. $336 retail, $269 equals $67 retail profit. It's a direct 5% of CV, $9.42 plus $67. It's a total profit of $76.42. Sell 5 water systems, and you are an executive in 1 month. You earn $382.10, and you get your first raise. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. And that's so doable. And that's what they do in Latin American, ladies. They sell these water systems like there's no tomorrow.
It's amazing. Okay.
Wait a minute. I think
okay. Focus on the benefits of making money. You can create freedom in your life. You can assist others who are less fortunate. And you can be there financially for family. The products are the key to everything. We use the products because they work. We share and sell them with others because we care. All right, we don't teach the science behind the products. We talk about what works, the benefits. And I thought that was good that you pointed that out, Kimball, because that really is all they care about.
That really is. When we go down the science thing, then they feel like they need to learn about that, and they really don't.
Right, that's right. Okay, we don't teach the science.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, when
I'm having a little bit of trouble with it progressing, so it's making it hard. I bounce all over.
That's okay. When someone says, do magnets work?
Okay, what do you all say?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I don't. I say what hurts.
Yeah. Well, the correct answer is no, they don't.
Oh, that's right. You do tell us that. Our products works. Refrigerator magnets don't work for the body. MRI magnets aren't for daily use. Our products were designed to make our lives better. We use the products because they work. The products work.
That's right. And when you say that, because then do you have to get in a argument with them about all the scientific studies about magnets? Well, there's this study that said magnets only work sometimes. This one said they didn't work. This one said they did work. But if you say the products work, how do you know? We've been in business 45 plus, almost 46 years now, 45 and a half years.
That is true.
And so I want us to start, because the language we use when we talk with other people can make this hard for us, and we can make it bad for us. And, you know, I've thought about it, because there's some things that I don't run into, and I probably got more knowledge about all cellular level, all that, but there are questions that I don't get that some of you all do. And I think what sometimes we do is that we get into trying to get into the science because we want people to know that we know what we're talking about. But hang on, I gotta. So I really want us to be all working on our language. Me too. I really think about it and what I'm saying, and being mindful of our words really will help us either be able to share or not to share. And so we go.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay. The products support metabolism in the vital areas of life. Air, we can only live minutes without it. Water, we can only live days without it. Sleep, we become crazy in 48 to 72 hours without it. Nutrition, we die in 40 days without it.
Now, and let me ask you this. Do you think your doctor would argue with you about you needing to have air to breathe?
No.
Do you think your doctor would argue with you about your having water to drink?
No, they encourage it.
But some of them will say you don't need the alkaline water.
Okay, but how many people do you think go and talk to their doctors about drinking water zero?
Probably none.
How many you think go and ask their doctor about drinking mineralized water?
Probably none.
They just drink it.
That's right. So when somebody comes and asks them if they are going to drink some water and they know nothing about it, what are they going to say?
I can't advise you to do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And they can't advise you to do it because they know not zip about it.
Right.
And Shirley, when you were at the bank, if somebody had come to you and it wasn't around them, but told you they wanted to know if they should invest in cryptocurrency, you'd have probably said, I don't know about that. I wouldn't advise that. Is that right?
I would have told them they need to investigate and get a better opinion than mine. Yes.
Right. And I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't advise anybody to investigate in cryptocurrency, but I was just using that as an example.
Right.
Please don't think me bringing that up meant that I'm a believer in cryptocurrency, because something may change in time, but I am not a believer in cryptocurrency.
Well, there's stuff on the internet now that says things are changing. So
yeah.
we'll
Well,
see.
There is, and I've had people who've been trying to get me involved in that for a few years, and I'm just not, I'm not there. Let's see. Oh, I might have gone too far. Let me get back up. Nope, I am too far. Nope. Okay, so here we go.
Okay. Homeostasis is what our bodies are always trying to accomplish. If your body is acidic, our body wants balance. We don't want to make our bodies alkaline, and we offer products to balance the body.
And I was talking with somebody the other day who said, instead of saying, we're always saying to people who want to make your body more alkaline, don't say that. Our water has minerals and everything in it, so it balances your body.
Okay. So that sounds better.
Hydrates well and balances your body.
I think that way you don't have to go into all those explanations too.
Well, I'm telling you, that doctor up in Ohio that talked to Barbara out of Richmond. He tells his renal failure patients to get the PIMAG water and to drink as much as they can drink every day. He does not restrict their water. He says that, and he has never had a patient get in trouble with it. I wouldn't say that. I'd say just drink it the way you drink your water. But he says, and this will go in a minute, you know, what happens is when people are really sick, they're very acidic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you get the water into the cells, which is hard with heart failure and kidney failure and all of these things, that water goes in easier and then it helps balance things. So the only thing we're trying to do is hydrate so they can be balanced.
Right. Okay. What do acidic foods make your body more acidic? How does your body respond? It takes calcium out of the bones and body to balance itself. We provide a resource to make the body better, and Nikken combines different sources for the body to use in the right way. Okay, alkalinity in the body comes from the cells and the bones.
And do you want the alkalinity in your body to come from your bones?
No.
Right.
What does your body need? If you drink alkaline water, eat fruits and vegetables, it provides alkalinity for balance. Calcium flow plus cash flow.
You know, that's exactly what it's all about. You know, I actually came out of osteopenia to normal bone just by wearing the insoles and sleeping on the sleep system. It was before we ever had a bone health pack.
Really?
Mm-hmm. That was way back. And when the bone health pack came out, I went on it. And it's kind of interesting now because everything that I have says that I have a high bone density for my age.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started with this company 14 and a half years ago, I was in osteopenia, and they said that I had the bones of a 60-year-old, and I was 45.
Oh, Lord.
So it was not good.
Okay. What is a Nikken coach or consultant? We are the sales cycle.
What do you all think that means?
Well, Nikken doesn't have a storefront. You
Mhm.
can't go to the store and buy these products.
That's
So
right.
they have the online system and they have the consultants. The consultants are there to help the people with knowledge of the products and get more people on their teams to help spread the word.
Mm-hmm. And now I've got to figure out where I'm at.
Okay. Okay. You are a part of the sales cycle when you recommend something. You are asked, where do you buy your groceries? Costco and Whole Foods? They purchase at Costco and Whole Foods. They make money. You make nothing. You were a part of the sales cycle.
And there's a difference from being a part of the sales cycle and being the sales cycle.
Yeah.
When you're a part of the sales cycle, you make nothing.
Right.
Hang on, I gotta.
Okay. What can I do to feel better? The PIMAG water system helps balance our bodies. Where can I get one? Go to this website. It is my site and you can get it there. We recommend, they purchase, we get paid. We are the sales cycle.
Now, currently, while they are updating the website, I'm highly recommending that you don't just send somebody on there to go and sign up and buy. 99% of the time, it will go absolutely beautifully. And then that 1%, they will wind up under some other consultant just because the computer had a blip.
Oh, gosh. Are they updating it now?
They are. We are diligently working on this.
Okay.
But I'm a control. I'm not really control. I'm really a promoter. But I don't like for things to go badly. And so what I always do is, I know that they're interested. I say, let me get your account set up. It's an account just like you have with Amazon. Mm-hmm. And then, would you like for me to put that order in for you? And 9 times out of 10, they will say yes. And if they're millennial, by God, they're going to do it on their own. And then you need to follow up and make sure everything went right, because you don't know. We will soon be to the point we don't have to do that. But, you know, computers are what they are. I've spent 6 hours on Zoom today, and 2 of the Zoom calls, there was somebody that had trouble getting in, or there was a problem with it. And when I went in tonight, it carried me in a different way from how I've ever been in, but that's okay. I got in, so I'm fine. So, you know, it's not an unusual thing for computers, and we're updating this. But where we're going to is, we want to be able to tell people, you know, here's the website, just go and get it. And then you look, and then if they haven't done it, then you call back and say, you know, did you need some help? But if you think they're going to do it and they don't do it, by all means call them, because something may have gone wrong in the computer and you don't want that to be the way. But that's how I handle that at this point.
Yeah, because I've been working on my computer since 8 o'clock to get on this call, and I never could get it to work. Okay. There is no benefit in knowing the science. The benefit of being a part of Nikken is the benefit of your better health and the benefit to your pocketbook. And that's true. Okay, how did Nikken start? One man wanted the best for his children. He had an entrepreneurial spirit. And when you join Nikken to do the best for your health and family, you repeat the process.
You know, we always tell Masuda's name, but the name is not that important. They may think they have to remember that. It's one man, one child. He had a problem to solve. He created the company. He solved that problem, and he changed the life of his entire family. And he changed countless lives around the globe.
And here we are, almost 46 years later.
That's right. And we can do the very same thing for our families that he did for his. I mean, that's what's so cool.
Okay, the heart of Nikken is the entrepreneurial spirit. Okay, our homework is plan your month, send your plan to Kimball and your direct sponsor. Learn the ins and outs of the Nikken subscription.
Okay. Okay, that's it. That's the last one. All right, now let me take this off of share.
The Nikken subscription is what used to be the auto ship. That's what you're talking about there, right?
That's right. And we got a raise because it used to be a 25% discount for customers, and now it's a 10% discount. That means you make 15% more on those.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. That's a nice thing. That's a really, I mean, there's nobody in the industry that gives 25% off. Most of what it comes out is about 10%.
Yeah.
And so I want you to read on that, and we will talk more about the Nikken subscriptions next month. But that's something we're really going to be focusing on. And so what were those top products? Immunity, lactoferrin, Pymag Waterfall, Kensen Joint. Those top 2, we're going in to the, even if say there was no COVID, which at this point I can't even imagine, but say there was no COVID, we're going into cold and flu season. What are people interested in cold and flu season? Are they interested in staying healthy or getting sick?
Staying healthy.
And so, what can you do? I mean, what if you're talking to somebody, hey, Cece, what? I'm really worried about this COVID and the cold and flu season and all that. What are you doing?
I'll tell you what I'm doing. And then I would talk about those products.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, ask as many questions. Say, well, I've got something that works for me. What are you doing? Ask as many questions as you can. I try to ask 4 or 5 questions before I offer, because I want to know everything about it. And they might say, well, I do a multivitamin every day, and I'm taking vitamin C because I've heard that's really, really good. But I'm really worried about this stuff, and I don't know about I don't know about that immunization or whatever. Another question would be, well, are you interested in something natural that supports your immune system? Well, sure, I'd be interested in anything that kept me and my family well, but I just don't know a lot about all of this. Would you be interested in my sharing with you what I do? Well, sure. Well, I take this and I take this each day. The immunity is just mushrooms, but it's 14 different kinds. Did you know that there's even studies on mushrooms saying it helps with cancer? And this is like the Cadillac of all the mushroom supplements. And that's true. It's actually written up in a couple of books about mushroom supplementation. I've got one of the books here. I just got to find it. And it mentions the Nikken product. This is a big deal. And so it's great for everybody unless you're allergic to mushrooms. And I found one person in 14 and a half years that was allergic to mushrooms that couldn't take it. Everybody's allergic to something. And the other thing is this lactoferrin, and it's good for your gut. And did you know that 80% of your little virus and, immune fighters are in your gut? And between those two things, I don't know that would work for you. But, there's a huge possibility that it would. And there are so many people that just swear by this. Would you like to try some? Oh, and I can get it for 10% less if I put it on auto ship. You want to get it that way? And if you don't like it, that's fine. You can cancel it after 1 month. It's up to you. Well, most people will want the 10% off.
Right.
And get started. I mean, this is good stuff. I mean, everybody on the planet needs to be on, and I'll tell you, if you don't have but one bottle, I'd be stocking up. You may not necessarily want to do it this month. I'd love to do it next month, because next month I'm going to be really working for volume. But when everything started in March, I had 10 bottles of immunity and I had 10 bottles of lactoferrin on hand. Because I really felt like there was a good possibility the company would sell out of them. And they did sell out of immunity. And they were backed up about 6 weeks. And, thank God I did not get sick. But if I got sick, I knew I was going to be chewing those things like, Tic Tacs. And, what if I didn't have them? I mean, that was just a really scary feeling to me. And I'm not trying to scare anybody. And I pray that we don't run out of them. But I can't tell you,
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what's happening in the world right now, last Friday, the UK had their largest day of new cases since March. Czech Republic is getting ready to lock down tonight. One of my clients who works over there was telling me that they're getting ready to lock down again. And the cases are on a rise. So because it's an election year, our governor has decided to open up movie theaters and let people go into bars at 50% capacity. And our numbers, I mean, we had gotten down to 5.4 and he went to 2.5 of being open, and all these numbers went up. So I'm suspecting in 2 to 4 weeks, we're going to be kind of in a mess here.
Yeah, they said today phase 3 is going to start Friday.
Yep.
And some of them they've lowered it to 30% capacity instead of 50. But still, I mean, they're opening stuff that hasn't been opened, so look out.
Right.
And 2 Guilford County schools got closed today, 2 elementary schools, because there was a case at each school.
That's right. And 80%, this is just to let you know, 80% of the people who get this virus have eaten inside a restaurant in the 2 weeks prior to being diagnosed. Now, that's no different from being in a gym. It's no different from being, any place where you are inside with other people. This is an airborne disease, and I'm going to tell you that the CDC can pull that thing all down, never put it back up against it's airborne. But let me do a little, this is going to be my science class for you today. The problem with spit is it is airborne. You know that you did not have to French kiss someone to get their cold. They cough or sneeze their droplets into the air, and that stuff is flying through the air, meaning it's airborne, and you breathe it in. So the fact that they decided to take that down because it would scare people just pisses me off to no end, because it's acting like, people are morons. I mean, at least say, this is the way it is. We really want you to go out there and take your chances. But you know what? A college sophomore at Appalachian State died yesterday. He was on the basketball team there. He was completely healthy as far as anyone knew. And he got this virus and he died. You may get this and you may do just fine. I mean, there's a woman, 102 or 103, who had it, and she wound up in ICU on a ventilator, but she came out and she's okay. But you don't know that. Nobody knows. And so trying to avoid it is the smartest thing. And if you get it, the worry about it, being one of what they call the long haulers is really, because what it does on the long haulers, it screwed up their immune system. I already live with immune disorder. I haven't had huge problems with it for the last 15 years, but trust you me, I have not forgotten what my life was like before that. The last thing I want to do is screw around with my immune system or do anything that might make it bad. So, washing your hands, wearing your mask, and, if you're going to, and keeping that 6 feet of distance, and if you're going to eat out, and we've eaten out. In fact, we ate out Saturday night. We walked down to Fuquay, and there's a place, we were the only people at the restaurant, and we ate outside. And so we just had a lovely time sitting out there. It was just he and I. There wasn't anybody else. I mean, it was wonderful. We just had a really good time. So, there's ways to get around things, but we really need, when they're telling people about this herd immunity, well, for herd immunity to occur, 90% of the people in the United States would have had to have it. Right now, 10% have had it. So does that tell you where we're at with herd immunity? We're only in the beginning stages of this. And the client that I talked to just before I got on the phone tonight is the head of the physiology program at NC State. And he told me, he said, I think it'll be the end of 2021 before we can go back to what we considered totally normal. He said, and he's traveling because he travels over to the UK and to the Czech Republic very regularly for work. And then when he comes back, he goes in quarantine for 2 weeks because he has a newborn baby. And there's no way that, he says, I know that I'm at a level of risk, but he wears his mask, he keeps his distance, he washes his hands. It's all of these things. I mean, we will go to a different level of normal, but if you can grocery shop as little as you can, if they have Instacart in your area, I'm like a kid. This is my solution for Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny, because I go on my computer and say what I want, and about 4 hours later, the dog starts barking, and they've left the stuff on my side porch. And it's like, and it really is like Christmas, because sometimes they make substitutions that I know that they had what I wanted, but they didn't know where it was. Because like my almond milk that I like is not a cold food. It is it's over with the dry foods. And so they brought me and I buy, I get a lot. So I had 3 huge containers of silk almond milk that took up about half my refrigerator. That was exciting. Get everything in. So it really is like Santa Claus. You don't know exactly what you're getting. You know what you ask for, but you don't know exactly what you'll get. But for me, I love it.
That's great.
I just, and so there's lots of things you can do to lower the things. I'm reading so Elizabeth wrote in here, corona grows and lives in water on every surface. We all have it. We need to ask, why does it kill some and not others are affected? Lost lives, terrible, yet why does no government-funded agency find the Surgeon General tactful in February when it said that masks are for sick people to wear? It grows on the surfaces on water molecules. We all have it. The question is, what triggers some to die? COVID does, but there are a whole bunch of different COVID viruses. SARS is COVID-2. This is COVID-19, which is a new form of it.
Right.
And like many viruses, they change. And, why do some people? Well, it depends on your immune system. So what can you do to support your immune health? And what you can do to support your immune health is kind of all the things that we do. Now, if you use Instacart or whatever, you need to tip your driver. And I tip mine pretty well, because when I don't go to the grocery store, I probably saved a good 2 hours and I haven't had to buy any gas. So I figure that my tip takes a place of that. So, there are lots of things, but thinking of how we are able to take care of our immune systems and what have we got to share? Hydration, the air system will be back. There's just because of COVID, there's some things they can't get to finish making them, but they will be back hopefully by the end of the year. The company just completely sold out. They blew them out in August. It was huge. So sleep, and we're going to have a new sleep system before the end of the year. It will not, I will go ahead and tell you, I've been told it is not going to be ready for convention. So these are some things that we can do for everybody to make them better. We have things, Nikken is way up this year. So questions or comments or anything I can help you with tonight as you close out your month? I want us to go ahead and congratulate Cece. She has a new consultant. Woo-hoo!
Yay.
Great.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Congratulations, CC.
Thank you, Jeffrey. I hit all of my goals, actually. Remember my little book?
Mm-hmm. You go, girl.
I did.
And
I did 2 extra things I didn't even set.
so, you know what I'm going to tell you? If you hit all of your goals, you're not dreaming big enough. So raise those up some. Because if you're making all your goals, you're not setting them high enough. I always tell people to reach for the moon, and if you don't make it, you may hit a star along the way.
Well, when I sent an email to Jeffrey or you about this September, I remember saying I didn't want to overstretch myself, since it was going to be like not full-time, but full-time for me is definitely an addition physically and tasking sometimes with headaches and whatnot. So I felt like I'm the kind of person that will do everything on my list and knock myself down. So I felt like I'm going to make half of the list that I would have made on a normal CC, because normal CC is different now. And this CC has to do small goals first. Otherwise, I'll knock myself out and then I won't be worth anything.
Right. Well, the other thing is, what if when we achieved our goals, we didn't always have to work harder? What if we put that idea out there like a prayer and just did the amount of work that was comfortable for us and attracted what we needed to accomplish it?
Sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was fun and it was fine. And I only had, it was probably ideal because the days that I put more energy into Nikken, my off days were either resting or doing something because of my head or an ailment issue. So it didn't really conflict. It was extremely flexible. And it all honestly worked out the way I think he intended it to. So
Absolutely. It always does. So one of the things I want to tell you about is today I was reading that the people that this pandemic are hurting the most are women,
Oh, really?
and primarily women aged 26 to 52 that are mothers. Because who is losing their jobs because they can't be there to take care of kids?
Right.
yeah.
So we have something very, very special to offer. And I'm going to give you a challenge that this month, no matter who you talk to, just before you go, you might say, hey, do you know any moms or any stay-at-home moms or any moms that have lost jobs or dads that lost jobs because having to be with kids that might want something to do from home? They're either going to say yes or they're going to say no. And if they say yes, would you introduce me to them? I've got something that might work for them. That's it. And if they ask you a lot about it, say, look, I don't really have time now. We were getting ready to go. I'd be happy to talk with you later. But what do you think would happen if this month I sold $1,000 by the calls I was making to old customers? In fact, one guy today, I haven't got his order, and it'll go next month because I actually was calling him to ask him to speak at my Chatham County Professionals. And I listened, he had left me a message that I hadn't listened to. I had to get back, and he said, Kimball, I want to put in another order for Nick.
Well, good.
So when you call people, I talked to them. One gal, I talked to her for about 30 minutes. Her business is really struggling, and I told her some ways that I thought could help. She's an energy healer, and we got ready to get off. And she says, I need to order a thing of that CM cream. I said, okay. Another woman got an auto ship started with Vital Balance, and she bought a Backflex. Another one decided to go on an auto ship of Vital Balance. Now, I didn't call to sell any of these people, and I just sat and asked them how they were doing, what was going on with them. And then when it was real. Now, this is bad on me. The lady that went on the Vital Balance, she lives in New Jersey, and a friend of hers referred me to her 2 years ago, and she bought some things, and then she lost her necklace, and she called me back in February, and I ordered another one for her. She didn't even realize that Nikken had nutritionals.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I realized I don't send a virtual catalog to everybody that's my customers. Why am I not sending a virtual catalog to everybody who's my customer? I mean, just checking in with people can have some amazing results. Because the truth is that once people, our products work. Once people try a product and they get a result. But your life will be easier if you say the products work. Well, I hear that you all have magnets. Well, we do, but there's all other kinds of things. I mean, and the magnets are developed to work with the human body. That's what the products are, and that's what makes them different. They're made for the human body. They are not a medical device.
Right.
They're not a medical device, so anybody can use them. And, Barbara Satterwhite has said this for years. When people ask their doctors, 9 times out of 10, the doctor just says, no, you shouldn't do that because they have no idea what it is and they're not going to tell them. And now I'm a practitioner, so I know somebody will come in and somebody came in with some kind of new hypnotic intervention the other day and they said, what do you think about that? Well, I'd never heard of it. And I've been doing hypnosis for 24 years, and that doesn't mean it doesn't work. And what I said, that doesn't mean it doesn't work, but I know nothing about it. I mean, nothing. I said, what I know about hypnosis is it can't hurt you. If you want to try it, go for it. I said, Google it and see if you, but if you Google it, you may find some, because there's all kinds of stuff out there that say magnets don't work. Well, after 14 and a half years and still being the healthiest I've ever been, I know magnets work.
They work.
Yeah.
Jeff went, this is funny. Jeff went to the doctor because he had a pain in his ear and he had it for 3 days and we had done CM cream on the outside. And then we finally took a little tiny magnet and we wrapped it in the stuff and put it in his ear so it wouldn't go too deep. And that helped a little bit, but he wanted to find out. So he goes into the doctor and he's left that thing and then she goes, what is that? Why have you got it in your ear? And he says, well, because it's the only thing that's relieving the pain. Well, I can tell you right now that isn't going to work. She looks in his ear and she goes, well, it's a little pink, but I don't know what's wrong. But don't put that in your ear. And it was like, well, she didn't know what was wrong. We never knew what was wrong. But the only thing that gave him any improvement was that little magnet. And I know what it was. It was increasing it was getting rid of the fluid that was on the ear. So
she didn't really do anything for him.
Right.
The insurance.
I mean, sometimes I wonder, particularly Jeff, why he goes to the doctor because it never works out well.
Well, last week I kept getting bumped off of our call, and I do apologize that I just couldn't seem to get on. But I missed our homework assignment, and I'm really thankful that Shirley called me and told me this afternoon about it. And I think it would be really great to end on a positive note.
I'd love
Shirley has worked really hard on getting her 5 steps to reach a goal, only she did it in 4. And Shirley, I hate to put you on the spot, but I'm just so doggone proud of you. I think you should share your steps.
Please share your steps.
Yeah, but I think our steps were supposed to be on our next thing with you, wasn't it, Kimball? I think I may have told Kathy wrong. I told her, I remembered it being homework.
That's okay. Well, go ahead and share because everybody's making goals for next month. So go ahead, girl.
And remember, you got to dream big. Okay.
Yeah. Well, my sales haven't been what I would like them to be with all this COVID going around. And some of us on the call have been to San Antonio for the Nikken convention, down in Texas where they got all the rich oil people. So I thought number 1 would be to go to Texas and find me a rich oil baron with live.
I like that one.
And then when he's gone, I'll look for me a real handsome entertainer or movie star.
This PD.
So then number 3 would be an evangelistic minister.
They got lots of money.
And number 4 would be a funeral home owner.
Mm-hmm.
So let me explain it for you. It's 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4, go, go, go. Don't step on them blue suede shoes.
Yes.
That's good, Shirley.
So funny.
Well, if any of you ever like to watch anything on Netflix, we have started watching something called Greenleaf. Now, Greenleaf is a story of a black church in mega church in Tennessee, in Memphis. And I don't take it at all that this is a black thing, because I lived in Charlotte when Tammy Faye and her husband were there, and they were. These people are really small time to Tammy Faye and Jim. But if I'm telling you, if you want some entertainment, you should watch it, because it's quite interesting. It's my new Netflix when I just need to get something to get away, because I'm telling you. And what it basically says is these people, all of them believe in God, but I'm telling you what, they make some really poor choices along the way. And you really learn how absolute wealth can really corrupt people.
Yeah. It's true.
And I'm curious, did any of you all watch that presidential debate last night?
About 15 minutes. I can't take it anymore.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. That was really something.
It
I
was.
want to smack both of them.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to give Joe Biden some positives, because I think that after Trump had been yelling at me every time I tried to do an answer for about 40 minutes, I probably wouldn't have said, "Come on, man." It would have probably been a whole lot more colorful words. It was just, it just wasn't right. And now, but I'll tell you what I put out on Facebook last night. I said, you know what? I think that the moderator needs a taser. And he holds it up and says, "Your time is over. And if you don't shut up, they just tase you." And
they're talking about giving them control of the microphone where they'll be able to cut their mic off.
That's what's going to have to happen. I don't know that Trump will participate, because, I mean, he just would not.
Of course not. He's a New Yorker. You know he's not.
Yeah, it was something else. Jeff says he's not watching the next one. I said, well, I don't know that I've ever missed a president.
I've never laughed so hard in my life listening to him. It was more amusing than anything.
It was ridiculous.
Oh, it drove me nuts. We didn't watch but a few minutes, and I said, "Come change this channel."
Yep.
Yeah, it was really something else. But it just is what it is. What we do know is that God is good all the time, and He will work out whatever's going to happen. And I feel very, very, I feel very, very sure of that. But I tell you what, if we didn't have faith in God, last night's debate would have not been such a good. The one thing I think is that I always had my kids watch the presidential debate, and I really taught, because I was a debater in high school. And I really taught them the importance of debate. And my cousin put up today, he says, "Can you imagine the high school students that were watching this?" And I was thinking, and I wrote out, I said, "You know what? I am so glad that all my children are gone from home, because I can't quite imagine what it would have been like to sit with them and have them watch that presidential debate last night and them say, is this the way adults are supposed to work? Is this the way debate works?" Because my cousin says, "Can you imagine if some of those high schoolers tried this in their next debate?" He said, "I don't think it'll go too well."
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. A friend of mine had a daughter who gave her a real smart answer over the weekend. She made a comment, and her daughter was just really smart. And after I told her what I'd tell her last night, I felt like saying the same thing to them. I just was going to say, "Don't sit down. You may need that smart ass one day."
I'm telling.
It's just a circus, and it's disgusting. I gotta be careful. I'm gonna get myself all worked up, and I can't say too much. But
well, we didn't. I mean, the thing that bothered me is for people that were undecided, and I don't think there's many people that are undecided now. I really don't. But the ones that are undecided are people that are fairly non-committal. And I can tell you that if I were non-committal and I had watched that last night, my commitment would have been not to vote. And that's not a good outcome at all, because voting is a responsibility, it's a privilege, it's a right, and people. But it was I mean, it was just not okay. And you know, I have brown children, and when he refused to denounce white supremacists, that was just too much for me. And when he didn't say to them, stand down, when he said, stand by, I mean, that's a serious thing. Because you know, in my other line, I sat 2 years ago with a former sniper who told me that if Trump ever told him to take up his weapon and go to Washington and defend him, that he would go. And I think this, you know, and he's not a Republican. I mean, I probably will vote the first straight ticket this year that I have, maybe the only one I've ever voted. Because I really think it's very sad that the Republican Party gets credit for him. I do, because I don't think he's not a Republican. I mean, he's not. But I mean, it's a real issue, and I really hope he's out of there before we get into something that we can't get out of, because that was a really tragic thing, because in our country, you know, we have all shades of people.
Oh, sure.
And when he would not denounce, because white supremacists, I mean, that's just and even today he wouldn't say it. And that is just not okay. It's not okay. You know, I learned that very early on in Sunday school. My favorite hymn for kids was Jesus Loves the Little Children. Red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves all the little children of the world, and we are all those children. So, you know, I hope that things are going to be better in the future. I tell you, but I'm hoping that next debate is better.
I do too.
All right, ladies, I will see you all later.
Hey,
Bye.
Bye-bye.
good night.
Bye.
Good night.